Ah, I would rather the camera be on me than the pretty girl, but since we're starting, could you switch to me, please? And let's introduce. That's my co-host, folks. You can't hear me in the background, but any minute now, she's gonna switch to me. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of STS, which means stands for Straight Talk Sunday. We have a wonderful show. We're talking about the whole concept of a doula. Before my co-host spoke to me about doula, I wonder if that sound like a dumpling or a bulla or didn't know what that mean. But she's gonna talk to you more about it. So I'm just gonna turn the show over just now to Celia Williams, and she will introduce her guest and turn it back to me. Celia, all yours.
Hi, good evening, good evening. Today we will be speaking about birth workers and what we do. There's doulas, there's midwives, lactation consultants, there's a whole list of professions under the term birth worker. But first I'd like to introduce Sister Amatula. She is a midwife here locally. She was actually my midwife for one of my children. And we have Sister Ami, and she is also a doula. I'm a doula as well. So we're going to go into that a little bit deeper on what we do as birth workers.
Amazing. And I just want to start by telling you guys, this is Bar Talk. Switching, please. Yeah, this is Bar Talk. This is live, folks. This is no longer Bar Talk, I should say. This is Bar Talk has outdone its time. This is now Straight Talk Sundays, where we take these relevant issues to the public and we talk to you about wonderful things that you need to know about, and professions and issues and situations. Bar Talk is brought
Straight
Talk,
Sundays.
and I need my co-host to help me with it because I still will do that a little bit more. Straight Talk Sundays is brought to you by Moment to Remember Studios, your one-stop shopping for all things photo, video, and print. So if you have your next just headshots or your next passport picture or your next major event, whether it's streaming, it's photography and video, just give us a call. We'll be more than happy to talk to you. Don't ask us about the price. The price is secondary. Talk about your vision. Let us see how best we can make your vision a reality. And then we talk about the cost of reality. Of course, this is brought to you by Jamaicans.com, arguably the number one platform for all things Jamaica, the USA, to the world. We appreciate the fact that we do, and you guys may not know, but we have people watch us internationally. So we have a contingency of friends from college days in England. We have people in Ghana. We have people. Of course, you're right here in South Florida. We have a group of people from Japan, Jamaicans living in Japan, who so tune in all the time. If you are watching, just tell us exactly where you're calling from. Just put it in the text, and this is an open chat, so get involved. Now, as always, we have a little way of asking people if they're real Jamaican, and so Sister Amatola, we're gonna start with you and ask you if you're a real Jamaican, or if you're not a Jamaican, where are you from?
I'm American.
Okay.
I'm married and a Jamaican man. I have 8 children.
Mm-hmm.
And I visited and worked in Jamaica hospitals in the past, Victoria Jubilee, Conroe Regional, also Princess Margaret. So my daughter, she got married in Ocho Rios at the ruins. So I'm grandfathered in as a Jamaican.
She Jamaican. She Jamaican. That's a long enough short. Where in the United States are you from?
The South, Mississippi.
Mississippi. Awesome. That's another show by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Miss Amatola.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Good. Talk to us. Where you're from?
I am also American. I'm Afro-Indigenous. I'm originally from...
Oh, hold on. Afro-Indigenous. Tell us what that is.
My roots are in the Americas. My bloodline runs very deep through the Americas, back generations. My peoples are the Negro American, but they were originally the Native Americans of this land. So I am Afro-Indigenous.
Awesome. Where exactly you're from?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Oh, so we have the Mid-South, and we have what that's now. centrist. That's not Philadelphia. Is east.
The
Trust me,
north.
geography.
Yeah, your geography good. I just want to ask first of all, because since I mentioned the whole topic of doula, we had a show last week and somebody said, but doula, and I explained. She said, "Sure, a midwife you talk about."
No. There's a
And so that's the
difference.
first question I want to ask. What's the difference between a doula and a midwife? Anybody?
Okay, you could go ahead, sister.
Well, a midwife will take a couple or a mother and she will supervise the entire care. And she will also receive the baby, catch the baby, or organize it where the father will catch the baby. So a midwife is allowed to receive the baby in her hands or direct the father to receive the baby in his hands, and the doula will be more supportive before, during, or after a birth. And the doula is not, even though some doulas off the record may have caught babies, but they're not there to catch the babies.
And catch means deliver.
Deliver.
I'm glad because we have people say, yeah, fling it, let me catch it.
Catch means to deliver the
Just
baby.
to deliver the
Yeah.
baby. And so while doing my research, PJ told me, PJ is back there handling everything. She enlightened me to the fact that the word doula was not always a wholesome word.
It means slave. So even I don't know if I put it on the thing, but on my business cards I put birth worker.
Right.
So tell me the history of it and what led up, because people still even when you spoke to me just now, people still know their minds are midwife. But the other aspect of that was the fact that people have not always seen doula as a profession.
Right.
Can you give me a little bit of the history of the doula and why it is well, just give me the history and then we go from there.
Do you know the history of the name doula? Because I know we were
Yeah.
speaking about it at our last workshop, and it's in another language it means slave.
So the history of the word doula is actually Greek, and yes, it does mean slave. It could also translate to woman of service, but the word doula was just coined for the work that we do in like the 70s or 80s.
We doula.
Yeah. But women, we've always been doing this work. It didn't have a name. We were just sisters, aunties, friends, mother, grandmother. But the title of doula became commercialized around the 70s and 80s.
Right, when Western medicine took it and decided to make it a thing.
Well, I got something, the Greek word, which means female slave. So that's one of the things that they would think. So first of all, it would suggest that you are slaving. Hold on, stop. But you're saying you coined the word not from the original meaning. That's what you're saying? But from what?
The word doula?
Yes.
No, what I'm saying is the word itself has a different origin than the work itself. The work
Right.
we do is ancient. We've been doing
Right.
this centuries.
True.
But the word doula, the word is old, but calling this work doula work is new.
True.
Got you.
We are
So,
birth workers.
Take me from the start of your engagement with a couple then, or a mother, or a family, anybody. Just take me from how you engage these persons from start, because I'm still trying to get my audience to understand that it's not a midwife, and I'm calling out.
Oh, don't call her out.
One of my sisters who last week called it, she said, "No, ma, that's a midwife. Me do that all my life."
So she's a midwife?
Yes, she is a midwife.
Okay,
Oh,
so
that's
midwife
okay.
is just like having the doctor there, the OBGYN there, right? The doula, we're birth worker. we're support. We provide some emotional support, physical support, educational support.
Stop 1 second. I'm going it from my level of ignorance, folks. So, in my mind, why should I have a doula? My wife is pregnant, or we are pregnant. Let me use the politically
Yes.
correct word. We are pregnant, and
Spiritually correct.
we are pregnant. So, somebody suggested a doula. Why should I deal with a doula?
Well, let's talk about the crisis that's going on here in the United States. 49.5% of women, black women, are dying more than 19% of the white women, 16% of Hispanic. When women go into the hospital or the doctors, they're not heard, black women. And historically in Western medicine and in the books, we're written as being able to handle that pain and nothing's ever wrong with us. We were used as experiments when it came to reproduction in our womb. So it continues now. You hear many women dying, many women having mishaps, increase in C-sections, even the babies having issues because no one is listening to these women. So if you and your woman are pregnant, we come into play to give that guidance, to give that education, to make sure that they're okay, to check up on them, and even be there present during the labor to prevent a lot of interventions that happen that Western medicine says, oh, this is what we have to do without trying it the natural way. And when they provide these interventions, it causes these deaths. It causes things that should not be happening in such a sacred moment of giving birth.
So are you a social worker or you're a medical worker?
We're not medical, and I'm not a social worker. Although sometimes I feel like I've had clients where, and this is a thing in Florida now, you know, a lot of the patients are coming to us and they're homeless or they need mental health referrals and stuff like that. So I do source it out, you know, and let, you know, my higher ups or their caseworker know what they need. And sometimes I have to provide that support. If they're having a breakdown in front of me, I'm not going to ignore them. I don't know if you know that I was a social worker before, so it naturally comes out.
And again, I am still trying to figure it out in my mind. Is it a profession? Do you need qualifications to do it? Or I can get up tomorrow morning and decide I want to help families. I want to be a doula. I am going to come out and I am going to do some research about what's happening, because some of the things you mentioned, I'm trying to clear my mind for the audience. And by the way, while I talk about the audience, let me say hi to a couple of people who are watching. Maureen James, Marlon Tuller, and 18 in that group, Rosemary Bailey, Queen Salea. She healing you up, yeah?
That's my auntie.
Nisha, is Daphne Palmer, Trish Brown, and there's a whole host of people I'll get to that's currently watching. I feel like I am still in the dark, ladies, and if I am, in other words, you're explaining to me your scope of work, but tell me what would make you, not just tell me what they do, like the difference between a midwife and a doula. Tell me, for the man who knows nothing or for the couple who knows nothing, do you need a qualification to become a doula? You mentioned some of the things that happen to women when they are black women, not getting treatment. Are you therefore, there's a social worker aspect to it? The word in my mind is why still.
There have always been, throughout time, there's always been women who stood by women or family members. Our grandmothers, our great aunties have always informed us and instructed us as we grew up. Go down the street and take care of Miss So-and-so. Go over here and stay with your grandmother. So we have always been in tune to caring and being taught to offer advocation and to help. Now, when it comes to the work of being a doula, yes, you can go online, you can take coursework from those who want to give you coursework information, and you can pay a little fee and they'll give you a certificate. And you can take that and you can go around and you can work as a doula. And in some instances, you can get paid and will get paid, and it's also recognized by some insurances if you have the qualifications. But we want you to also understand, if one feels the love and the care to service another, that should not hinder anyone from providing that service because they don't have the paper. It doesn't require paper to extend love and care to a fellow sister or brother. So that's how I perceive it and deal with it in terms of the care and the love for another person. We should always have someone to advocate for us. If we're in a hospital setting, we shouldn't be there by ourselves. We should have someone that's clear mind and that can watch out and help in cases where it's needed. But if one wants to hire someone who has certificates and certification and they're qualified, that's all well and good. There's nothing wrong with that. And they do have places you can go online and take the coursework.
So in my mind, it's almost pastoral then. Because the whole thing of a pastor, there are universities and the colleges and so forth where you can get a pastoral degree or a degree in divinity. And there's a guy who can have the gift, or a man or woman can have the gift. And in fact, I know one particular man who has now a major church in our community, who our ex-pastor critiqued him once and said, "Man, he don't even have a degree." But it wasn't a degree. So I'm seeing you clearly now. He now has a doctorate, by the way.
Okay, clear that
but
up.
then the man now has a doctorate, but when the man come with his family and so forth, he didn't even have a so-called pastoral or degree in divinity. But I see you now. I see you clear. It's the heart, and it's that spirit that goes along with that person, because that man is now one of the biggest pastors in our community, and has pastored other pastors and have created universities.
Right, because when you're called and walking in your purpose, you just
Thank
go
you.
with it. You don't need a piece of paper.
Thank you.
When we were colonized, we're told that you have to have a piece of paper for everything, and you don't when you're called to do it. I have my piece of paper. Actually, Broward Healthy Start, they're having a training come up, and I went through the training, but I was helping out friends before and family members. And they provide ongoing training. So you can go in person. There's things on down in Lauderdale, Lauderdale Lakes area. There's an office there you could go in person, get training, and then they have monthly training, and we talk, and we do get that support to make us more knowledgeable when we enter the hospital. So because most of our clients are on Medicaid, and that's how insurance is paying for us, we need to be cleared with Medicaid. So we need those trainings to be able to go into the hospitals. But you have doulas too. You can go into the birthing center, the home. You could even be in the hospital still. You're just not.
So in other words, any other professional could also be a doula.
Right, because I have several professions, as you remember.
Do I? Yeah. Oh yes, she does, folks. She's a highly qualified person in the room, and so I am talking about a woman with her masters, and I ask if you have to have any qualifications. I am understanding it clearly, and I just ask these questions because
to get clarification.
my people like myself don't know who. People who have been doing midwives, like I did last week, had no clue who's a doula, but she's been a midwife for all her life,
And even with midwives, I've had, so Sister Amatullah was a midwife for my second child. For my first baby, I went to the corporate midwife thinking that I was going to get a midwife, and it was the same thing as if I was to have an OB, and just 5 minutes in there. As a matter of fact, they told, it was a whole situation where they told me not to push when my child was coming out on his own, and they were pushing him back in because the midwife wasn't standing there.
Right.
But my body and my son knew what to do because we spoke before it happened, So even those experiences had me want to be in that room with other women so these things do not happen to them.
Wow. So the young lady has been very quiet.
Oh.
How long have you been a doula, and what have been your experience thus far?
Well, I have been a doula for as long as I can remember, but I just recently acquired training and education. I realized I wanted to be a doula when I was like 18 or 19, believe it or not.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah.
6 years ago.
Oh, 6.
Wow, I wouldn't even say that. Still a baby.
I know, and that makes me feel even more called and empowered in this work. But when I decided to relight this path of birth work, I started my own research and self-study and reading, but it was only recently that I found what I consider to be a competent training that resonated with the energy I wanted to bring into this work. It was spiritually attuned, culturally sensitive. It focused on ancestral wisdom and ancient tools of healing and birthing, and it acknowledged the disparities that the Black and brown women particularly experience within the medical system. So I took that training last year. I have only had one client thus far, but I am still very much dedicated and passionate about this path and calling. I feel like it's something I'm bringing back into my bloodline that has been forgotten.
Okay, I'm staying with you a little bit more. Without calling anybody's name, talk to me about a particular experience you have had and why was it so unique to you as a doula?
Oh, that's a great question.
While you think about it, let me say hello to some other folks. Rosemary Bailey is saying hi. I have Diana Connor saying hi. Calvin, Gemini, and folks, if you know, if I call your name and I mess it up, I'm not drinking. I just have a problem with names. Other doula might be drinking, but not me.
We're not drinking.
Nobody drinking. Oh, we all drinking
Put up your tea.
water and
So we
tea.
know.
Yeah, very wholesome. I'm going to ask about that tea a little after. Yeah. Violet is watching. Troy is watching. Eagle Michelle. Trisha Brown is watching. Aku.
You could do it. You got this.
AKUA.
Akua.
Akua is watching. Marlon Toller is watching. Nadine Stewart is watching. Another name I don't know. Kinsey is watching. Troy London is watching. Pansy Ann Kelly is watching. Paula Chambers is watching. Quite a few. Thank you for watching, folks, as we navigate this topic as... What was the topic you called again? You don't remember?
The power of presence.
The power of presence. My co-host.
Let me check this water.
The water has not been opened. It's pure water. Pure water. My co-host. The power of presence, and in that lies part of the answer to who is a doula. I like what you said. The power of presence. Back to you. You have enough time to think.
Yeah.
One unique case. Why was it fulfilling for you, and how you think it would have been fulfilling for the recipients?
So I'm actually going to speak on my first mother that I ever supported, and again, the only mother I have supported thus far. She reached out to me when I had not even yet completed my training, but yet she trusted me, and I felt honored that she trusted me despite, again, we go back to not needing paperwork to do this work, but more so following the calling and having love to pour out and to share and to support families. So that affirmed a confidence and an empowerment within myself within this work, especially as a young woman without children yet. So supporting her and just reaffirming that me showing up and just my presence alone was enough.
Okay, I am going to still stay with you. Supporting her the power of presence.
Yes.
One kind of support, tangible support. Let me hear about that.
Tangible support.
Not support. As a tangible, give me one example of what that support looks like. It cannot be tangible. Well, hopefully, it's most of it is not tangible.
It could look like going to an appointment with the mother if she doesn't have anyone else. It could look like going to the appointment with the parents, the couple, if they don't have a good support system. It could look like braiding her hair. I braided her hair. She needed that. It could look like a massage. It could look like listening, silence. Sometimes just being there is enough.
True.
Okay, I'm throwing this out because, correct me, all of you linguistic folks, I'm messing with her. Postpartum depression. How much of that do you encounter in your job? Anybody can pick that up, and how your skill set is able to help. Because I hear ladies talk about that oftentimes, and that especially in our community. I've heard one lady talk before, and when she talked about how she feel, the other person said to her, "Because the man left you." And I'm thinking,
and Jamaicans, please be a little bit more sensitive.
Yes.
To that type of sense.
How
That type of comment.
if I'm feeling mental illness or uncertainties about my child and me and in my system, and I went to somebody, and the best thing the friend could say, "No man, don't worry about that because the man left you feeling that way." You've actually, well, I'm answering your question because in my mind I figure that this disrespectful one. And this is a real thing that happened, folks. And secondly, you're negating the fact that something is happening within the person. Anybody else want to pick that up? I mean, I started answering it because it was an experience. But anybody want to, that's postpartum depression issue?
Education, I always go back to that because I'm an educator. I always go back to that and saying that just, during prenatal visits, talking to the mother and the father of the child. I never leave out the daddy. Bring the daddy into the picture because the two of you guys did this together.
Right.
And speak about what it looks like, what it can be, what the causes are, and just reassuring that nothing is wrong with you. Like, this happens to many women. It's happened to me. And in the training that I use, like with Healthy Start, I actually give the Edinburgh Depression Scale before the baby comes, and I'm always, every meeting I have with them, I'm asking, how are you feeling? Is everything okay? Like, tell me if anything's different. And we go through, like, I even had a mother who, she lost her baby, was it like a year? I think I told you guys a story.
Right.
Before this pregnancy, and she felt she couldn't connect with this baby that she was now pregnant with because she did not fully grieve the last baby. So it wasn't even just postpartum depression. She was grieving and was not given that time and that space to grieve. So it wasn't until, I kept talking to her, all right, go sit by the water. Let's journal. I checked in on her like a lot because I knew that there was something there and I felt it. So even wasn't up until the birth, as she was delivering, she was having her contraction. She was going like a G, like she was doing it without medication. We were working. I was like, move, baby, move. And she was doing her movements because we talk a lot about pain management, and that's the movements. All of you who think twerking is horrible, it helps.
Yeah.
It helps with pain management and just release.
True.
But there was a point when she started to holler and mourn for her baby, the one that had transitioned before. So me allowing her to do that, because everybody in the room, they didn't understand, and they were kind of like, okay, she need to get over it type of thing. I had to discern and step in and know, like, okay, she needs this moment to be able to mourn this baby, because in order for her to bring this new baby in, she needed to go through this moment. And I allowed her. I prayed over her. I spoke in her ear, like the affirmations we spoke about. I reassured her. I rubbed her back. I was there. I was like, it's okay. Let it go. Let it loose. Like, just let it all out. Because she was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, let it out. You have to do it. And as soon as she was like, okay, I'm good, the contractions just kept coming. And she was able to give birth. So even like you spoke about, like us, this is kind of like pastoral work or whatever. Like this is a spiritual thing that we're doing.
I see it. I see
And
it.
so just not
Yes.
anybody should get up and say, let me be a doula.
Right,
Like it's a calling.
That's
It's a
right.
purpose.
right,
Because you have to understand that connection between the spiritual realm and the
Right.
physical realm, and that this baby is coming through.
right.
The baby chose these parents,
True.
and you have to connect with them and make sure that they're good and give them what they need.
That's
Because
true.
that was the first time I've seen that happen, but I understood what was needed because I used my discernment and wisdom,
Right,
to give her that. And then even afterwards, she said it to me because, I'm just moving how I should move. And she was like, thank you so much for giving me that space and that time and that opportunity to grieve, because she couldn't let go. And it wasn't until that she let go and like really release and hollered, I let her holler, that she was able to bring the next prince in.
And the thing about it, if you're not skillful, because somebody would have, like the same other person talk about, would probably say, "Cha, you ain't worry about the one that picnic out. Come on,
Right.
make this. Yeah, forget about the one where you lose already. Come with this one and don't understand
Insensitive.
the insensitivity."
that's true.
I see it.
true.
I see it. Sister Matilda, what was your? Yeah, I was just.
I was just going to
Yeah.
also agree, the education is very important because part of the education is that couples or the mother and the father should be informed or aware that what they are doing is elevating their God spirit.
Yeah.
They are now involved in creating and building, and that is a godly work, and it elevates them on a godly level, a spiritual level. So that's part of the education as well that's needed before the baby comes. And we all know that after baby comes, the mother should know that after about 3 days, her hormones are going to start decreasing. She's going to naturally start to feel naturally teary-eyed and emotional because of the hormones. But there's a lot of factors beforehand that should be dealt with,
Right.
that no one really deals with sometimes. And that is, after I have the baby, do I have to go back to work in 2, 3, 4
And
weeks?
that's big now these days. That's
Yeah.
big.
You know, to have a baby and say I got to return to work in 3, 4, 5 weeks, that's a lot. So no one talks about the real stuff beforehand. A lot of what's happening is happening out of comfort. And the comfort is because we've had this discussion, and this is a totally different conversation, but it goes back to trauma.
Yeah.
If you have people coming together to create and they're under trauma, then what
And
do
a
we
lot
have?
of people were under trauma.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up, because even Brother Luke, we've come together, and Sister Amatula and I reunited, and I met Sister Ami because we're all called to do something. So we've been making workshops and a series of workshops to even deal on that. We call it conscious conception, to even just deal with that trauma before you procreate. And in our Black community especially, we don't have that teaching. And I think I spoke on that years ago on one of the other podcasts when we were talking about what women want. I don't know
Yes.
if we don't have that education and that teaching on how to be one with yourself and be your best self, so that when you're ready to have a child and be a part of God's creation, like, which is a miracle in its own,
Right.
Yeah.
how to approach the opposite sex, how to do this, and to even make sure that you're with the right person,
Right.
to even bring forth another child. Because what we're
Correct.
seeing, me as an educator in the schools, I'm seeing the aftermath, and it doesn't look cute.
Right.
It's sad, because some parents are still dealing with that trauma.
Right.
And then, go back to the postpartum depression, a lot of men do not understand what women are going through, and the women don't either. So that's why we have to
Right.
educate them. We have to provide the teas
True.
and the womb washes and the placenta pills to kind of help that. But most importantly, educate them, and if they need help, to encourage them to go to a therapist,
Right.
or be that listening ear
Right.
for them, because we were never told what to expect. There's so many times you go into, I remember my first time going into labor. Yes, my friend told me, yes, this one, but you're like, what in the world is this? And I remember it was actually my father that realized that I was depressed. And I reached out to my friends and they sent me a whole bunch of herbs to start taking tea. You know, because you don't even understand what's going on in your hormones, your emotions, your mental, going back to work, and you have this little baby that you love off. Like, my last child, I had to go back to work right away because the school year started, and he was sickly. And his pediatrician at the time, they said he was failure to thrive, malnourished.
Ouch.
Because he had GERD, and we didn't even realize, before she tell me, and another Jamaican, she, you know, she said to me, because she was my pediatrician, so she knew me, so I guess she felt comfortable. She was like, you're going back to work and you have this sick baby, what are you doing? How you go back to work? And I'm like, I have to pay bills. So I left her and found a holistic doctor, and we realized he had GERD. He was lactose intolerant, and he was getting it through my breast milk, so I had to stop taking anything dairy, and that's when I realized dairy is in everything and things that should not be in.
Right.
So I had to stop, and then he's my thickest, strongest, strong back child out of the three of them, you know? So even those things, it goes back to education. Educating mothers, educating the fathers. Fathers would sit there and make it even worse instead of helping the mother who just gave life to their offspring, their legacy.
And being prepared for after the birth, because after the birth, everybody like comes to the yard, and then there's no food for the next week or two.
Right.
So then everybody's looking still at the mother who just gave birth to make food.
Oh gosh, I have
when
stories
she's
with
breastfeeding and she needs food.
Stories with
so
that.
nobody organized with family or friends who's going to bring the food for a month or two.
And that's one of the things I do provide with my mothers, with my clients. Like, we have a meal list. When you go to the baby shower, have them sign up what they're gonna bring, when they're gonna bring, and let them be like dedicated to it, like commit. Because you need to, you just had a baby, you should be relaxing.
Right.
And especially if you're breastfeeding, in order for that milk to come, you have to eat and eat nourishing foods because you're feeding the child.
Right.
And so what I'm understanding here, and it hit me like a rock, is that for the person who say, yeah, but a doula want like a midwife, is really shortchanging a doula. Seriously, folks.
Well, yeah.
Really, because a midwife, delivery, and once you deliver, it's done. From what I'm understanding from all of you.
Well, she's a different midwife. 'Cause she was my midwife, and she's there from the beginning. Like, she's there. Like, she gave me my first Be More. She took care of me in ways that. So it depends on the midwife.
I appreciate that.
Unless they're a corporate
Thank you.
midwife. I can name some corporate midwives around town. Don't go to them if you want the care that Sister Amatula will give you.
Yeah.
But yes, the corporate midwives.
The thing I'm realizing more than ever is that it's more than just the delivery, because a lot of us pay attention, folks. And I'm not offending any midwives. So if you're out there, hear me talking, folks. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just saying it's as you would say, Amy would say, it's a holistic approach. And a holistic approach is not only in terms of the food, but in terms of what you bring to the table. And from a man perspective, I'm realizing now that probably I should have had a doula in my kids, especially my daughters, because, and let's be fair about it, folks, and let's talk to some of the men out there. You like your wife sometimes least when she's pregnant. I know we expect for love her. And we do love her. We understand I'm just being real. And she bring your child and so forth. But when she tell you she can't stand your cologne.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Let's get real,
Yeah. When she says
Yes.
she can't stand your cologne.
Yes.
When she start telling us, you can't sleep on the bed because your presence, your role partner or whatever you. When she asks you to do everything, when everything that you do, that you think you're doing, that you want to be nice for her, upsets her. When you go out and buy roses for her, she asks you what you do. I mean, and all the different things. Sometimes as a man, you get confused because your wife is having your baby. Not all of you go through that. No, some wife are needy and you applied, you meet her in all your needs. But you, if you be quite honest, and y'all can be honest, I'm not the nicest people sometimes when
I'm very nice. It
Yeah,
takes me a minute to get over.
yeah, but oh Jesus, my shirt. Folks, I've been trying to button this shirt all night. I'm like, no, I won't button. But we're live. But seriously, I could see having a doula to not only for the mother, because sometimes we think the doula, like the midwife, is for the mother, but correct me if I'm wrong. That the doula also helps to be that stabilizing sense of consciousness then.
And that depends on who's doing the birth
the work.
working.
Yeah.
Because you have a birth worker that takes care of the family before or during the baby, when the baby's coming, and you have a birth worker that can take care of the baby afterwards. So you have, it all depends who is doing it. Just like she said, even with the midwifery, you know. I think one of the most important things that people have to always keep up front is that what are we really trying to accomplish here when we go out and say we want to have someone to help us, you know, or if someone on the other hand says they want to help us, you know. So with that, we have to like be a little more, I think, intuitive to what we're really trying to accomplish with families, with mothers, and like you say, don't make it so corporate, you know.
Right.
It has to come from the heart.
Genuine.
It has to be genuine.
Yeah.
You know, because you can hire a doula that says, "I'm out of here after the baby comes."
Right. Right. So it like I said, it can't just be. You have to vet your doulas too.
Right.
Ah.
You have to
Figure out what they're
because
making
now
for
it's a hot commodity to
Thank
be a
you.
doula. Because now I'm seeing like everybody. I'm like, where did this come from? Because I
Thank
remember
you.
when I realized I wanted to be a doula. I think it was when I met you.
Okay.
And I said it to a friend because her sister's a doula, and that was my daughter is about to be 13. So it wasn't until a few years ago when this training came up in Broward, and the friend, she was like, "Remember you said you wanted to do this? Jump on it." You know what I'm saying? But I knew that I wanted to do that because I was always there for other people, and I have that caring spirit. So now it's a hot commodity, and people are asking, "How much can you make?"
Right.
You can make.
Thank you.
You can make.
Thank you.
And people are looking at that and say, "Oh, let me just do it because it looks easy."
Right.
So you, as a mother or a family expecting, vet your doulas
Thank you.
because they're not gonna give you the same thing that I'm gonna give you. Or
Thank
she's gonna
you.
give you.
Thank you.
And so it comes back to when you talk about being a midwife. Normally, people think of somebody older. As a doula, you are
Think of younger.
just out of school. Think of younger, as far as I'm concerned. Do you get a feedback from people when you offer your services?
I actually get more of a resonance because most of the families who have approached me have been my peers.
Ah.
So I can
And they
relate
know,
to them more. Yeah.
And the fact that you don't have a child of your own yet has that been an hindrance of the people say, "But you don't know nothing about picnic, you've never cared a picnic before." How?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm finished.
I was just gonna say no. They've trusted me, and it's definitely an energy. Like you said, you really have to vet your doulas, your birth workers, and have the discernment to gauge why they started this work and what they can offer you. Like you're building a relationship and a connection with birth workers. You should not just choose anyone.
Right.
Right.
And that really, I was actually thinking about this recently. That goes back to the history of birth workers. We were really in the family and the community. We weren't traveling to other countries and states. Birth work was in the community. So you already had a connection and a relationship with the women that, led this work. But because it is a booming commodity nowadays, it's like you have to really see and make sure you trust who's going to be in that sacred space.
Right.
And I'm going to ask if it's there's if you you all if you see a need to have some kind of a unifying organization. I tell you why. I am in a field, and I'll never forget. And you know the person, but I can't say it on the air. When I taught also for many years. I taught one school for 14 years when she was a picnic. We are from, if you hear us laughing like that, we are from the same church over the years. So, but I never forget that Sunday when the pastor announced that Brother Luke has left teaching. And now he has his own photography business. And after church, I said, yeah, the pastor, no, church done. A sister come to me and she said, brother, you leave your good job. If we take photo, what kind of thing that you're a photo man? Yes, you are a photo man, but you're one teacher, you're professional. And over the years, I realized the gross misconception of the trade, because anybody can go get themselves a 100 business card, buy on Amazon deals, buy themselves a camera, and now that person is a photographer, a preacher. Anybody can, oh, God witnessed to me, God give me a vision that I need to go teach, to preach, and they come up and they preach. A doula, it seems to be in that kind of space, and so we have a guy a photographer who will go do somebody's job for $15, and we guys who get $15,000 to do the same job. I'm asking, is there a unifying body? Is there any contemplation for a unifying body, and how do you make your separation from somebody who get up and after some dream that they want to be a doula from the person who is vested in being a doula? How do you make the separation?
There's organizations, even there's Doula Connection right here in Broward. There's the Black Doula Network.
Right.
There's DONA.
Yeah.
There's several organizations that you can be a part of, and you give your certification, go through that process, and you can put that, like, let people know, okay, I'm in this organization, I'm in this organization. There are reputable.
But if I'm a client and I'm looking for a doula, I need to use my sense of discernment.
Not everybody has that.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Everybody doesn't have that, but that goes back again to taking time with self. I mean, this is a journey we're on, okay? So if I'm looking for a birth worker or a midwife, I need to be conscientious of what it is I am looking for. And if I don't have that, then in my journey, you're going to end up with, I mean, it's unfortunate, but you're going to attract whatever you're not working on. You know what I mean? So it goes back to the fact that beforehand, people need to be in workshops and guided to look at birthing as an elevated godly experience.
Right.
It's not just for the comfort, and the trauma is what's causing the comfort energy.
Right.
So people rush and create, but then end up in problems sometimes.
There's one of our, I have a couple of responses here. Paula Chambers says, good evening. You can probably help me with the names. Teacher.
Akshaya Tiamat.
That's my mama.
That's your
That's
mama.
your
That's my mama.
So give us the right name.
Akshaya Tiamat
I
Sumra.
was right. Look at me.
All right, look at you. You were right. Absolutely right. So here, she says good. First of all, Empress Unique Hines. She's like salt. She's like everything. So you're watching Empress. She says, good evening, royal queens, and of course my brother.
Good evening.
Good evening, Queen.
So good evening. The lady said good evening to you also. And then your mom says, fill in the gap where technology and medicine have no time or room, helping to make tough decisions and letting mom and dad know they're not alone. And there are no wrong questions. I thank you so much, because that was one of the things I know was I've experienced as being a dad. You even have to care for what question you ask your wife during that process. And sometimes we have answers and we don't know. In fact, I remember when I was so overcome with my first kid, and I'm watching that doctor pull that baby out. Natalie, good evening. And I'm driving home from Coral Springs Hospital, and I remember the process. And I was so traumatized. The next thing I hear, boom, boom. And I was on the sidewalk. Thank God it wasn't running into anybody. But I was driving back home from Coral Springs,
See, Dad's
and I
needs
was
support too.
I was so happy, but I guess I was traumatized a little bit just seeing the child. And having said that, my daughter has something right here in her chest from that process of pulling
I was
her
just
out.
want to ask you, why was she pulled out? Because even
Yeah, that-
that,
And
pulled
so
out.
pulled out because she had hair.
and
She had it hair all over her face, all over. She was born.
but
Nana
what was the
But
reason?
And
why-
then
why-
in
why
the
did you
middle
pull her? How
of
much
it,
did she weigh?
I saw the doctor take a knife and went,
Oh my
scissors,
God.
I went click, click, click.
So that's why we're
Of
there
the
in the room
hair?
to
Right.
stop that from
to
happening.
Yeah.
get her, and that was part of the trauma that I experienced.
Oh my
But
God.
since then, I've realized that there's one young lady I know, a little baby right now. She had 21 surgeries before her first birthday. And that came from mishandling from the doctors. And so she has a hook for her arm that they were
Oh, okay.
literally pulling this kid by any means necessary to get her out. And I'm thinking right now, if you had an experienced doula to be there, two things would happen. Somebody say, hey, listen, but first of all, are you allowed to be in the...
That's what I'm gonna say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would be there to say, oh, hold up,
Yeah.
let's slow the roll. And
Yeah.
secondly, if it became a situation like this, now mom has, I hate to say it, mom have a witness.
Yeah.
Oh,
for,
yeah.
for
But it
legal
wouldn't even
stuff.
get to that point. Like, that's why we were asking, why did they pull
Right.
out the baby?
And how
because
much did she weigh?
yeah, stuff must have happened before that.
The baby was a big baby.
When you say a
And-
big baby, how big?
Go ahead and ask the go ahead.
10 pounds?
I think about 10 pounds, 9-10 pounds.
You think?
Okay.
Well, my babies were 9. The one you delivered was 9, 10. 9, 10, 9, 11. And there was no pulling.
Well, you never pull.
You,
Mm-mm.
mm-mm.
'Cause
And that's one of those
That's not
interventions I was
natural.
talking about, that we educate the moms before, like what they may try, and different, like I do that, different
Right.
scenarios that can happen. And I also teach them brain. If
Wow.
the doctor says that they're gonna do something, I say ask them what the benefits are, what the risks are, what the alternative is, what is your intuition saying, and is this necessary?
Right.
Like
No.
I teach them to advocate for themselves, and I'm
True.
always whispering like, "Hey, so this is happening," because I'm watching to them like, "This is happening, that's happening. This is what they may try to say. These are your choices. These are your rights." So
Right.
that wouldn't have happened if we were sitting in the
Yeah.
room.
Wow, because the power of presence. That makes sense, because now it's not just the delivery, is making sure that the process of delivery is at least on par
Right.
from what I'm seeing, because I'm thinking about that baby. It's the sweetest little baby, but she has had so many complications. She now wears glasses. She's probably now 3, and her mouth is, she's smart and everything. But I'm thinking about the fact that if you had somebody there, a doula with her, with a mother guiding through, then this would not happen in the first case, like you said. But if it happened now, because now they're in a litigation with the hospital, and everybody's trying to say not never go so. And now you have a mother who was on her back. She can't tell everything. But if you have somebody else in the room that says no, and this is what I said,
Right.
it makes a difference. I had somebody had said something else in the meantime. But how do we move forward into educating? I think you said you had a conference coming up.
Well, I was at a conference for my micro school.
Okay.
But you know, I talk about this work everywhere. Even this Friday, I'll be at a mental health mixer speaking about postpartum depression. So even just every conversation we have going on Instagram, going on Facebook, educating moms, when we do have our clients, educating them, I'm always that one. I embarrass my kids sometimes because whenever I see a pregnant mommy, I'm like, "Hey, queen," and I'm talking to her, even if she's not gonna be my potential client.
Right.
Like I'm talking to her and letting her know, like, "Yo, you're good," and I bless up the
Yes.
baby. They allow me to because they feel my energy. So they allow me to bless up the baby. And even today, I was with a mom. Or she just told us that she was expecting, and we went to the beach and all, and we bless up, you know, like,
That's
you know.
sweet.
So, what was the question again? I totally forgot.
I know it's okay. Empress,
I'm thinking about in the beach. The water was so nice.
I mess with Empress. Empress says, and this points to the fact. Empress says, my sister says, I'm learning about this too. And then she laughed and she said, I'm done. Of course, I was messing with her. But for most of us, we're just learning about this. And so it goes back to my original question, what I asked, what are you doing to educate people? Are there any conferences or any, what
You
is
mean
the
educate pregnant women, or
no, just people generally, because still
That
around
goes into
your circle, you see people who say they're doulas because you're in that network. For us, we're just learning, and I must be honest. After another guest said last week, "Oh, doula, yeah, man, I'm midwife." I was because no, it happened last week. Someone actually was
Okay.
in here last week. We had a show here last week.
Okay.
Beautiful, wonderful show. We helped a young man. We raised some funds for him who got shot when he was 60.
Okay.
16 and now 20 is a quadriplegic. And so we kind of helped him out. But in the process, I announced this show last week for, advertised the show. And somebody said, oh, yes, so what's a doula? And everybody in the room, including Princess, Empress Unique here, was saying, we don't know. So everybody's learning. So back to the original question that you forgot. What do we do? What can we do moving forward to enlighten people that you are here, one, and that no, you're not just some dude who or some woman who got an inspiration. Because there are people like that out here, just like the photographers I mentioned. But how can they get in touch with you? How can they be part of this process?
Well, I want to say first, because you said you're just learning this. I honestly believe we're just remembering.
Thank you.
Because this is what we were doing. There was always a doula, there was always midwife, there was always people surrounding the mother.
Thank you.
Within our community. We just forgot.
Right.
Because our history was stripped from us
Right.
in the memory. But no, we're getting it back.
Right.
The second thing is we have collaborated to do community workshops talking about the conscious conception, speaking about what we do. We had one on Mother's Day.
May 11th.
On May 11th. Did we call it Be More? It was a baby shower. We call it a Be More. So a Be More is a baby shower.
Blessing, a mother's
A blessing way. Yes,
blessing.
blessing.
Way.
Different names for things,
Right.
but it was a mother's blessing way.
Right.
We were educated, the men were involved, and we wanted to involve the men. We had activities for them to talk about what birth workers do, and the men asked for us to come back.
Right.
So we started another series. The first one is August 24th, and we're gonna continue to do it, teaching the community, the men, children, mothers,
Right.
expecting, those not expecting, about what this process is, what we do, and how it goes even further before conception. So, and you can also find us on our maybe not Sister Amatula,
You'll find me through YouTube.
right, you'll find the midwife through us. You can find me on my business is Strictly Roots Doula Services, and I'm on Instagram Strictly Roots_doula. And Ami, you can go ahead and tell us yours.
Yes. So my business is Blue Note Doula Services, and you can also find me on Instagram at Holistic Mystic _birth doula. That is WHOLISTIC MYSTIC.
Hold up there. You
Yes.
have something in a glass here. Hold it up to the camera. Oh, you can hold it up to the camera. See it that way. Yes, hold it up.
Okay.
I don't know what are those tea bags or some
Yes,
tea.
they're tea bags.
And there's some creepy crawly things inside. What's that?
Bush tea.
No, those are tea bags. That's the strings of the bag.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So funny.
I just thought it was something
kind of tea?
some
Mango
holistic
Oh.
thing that we could share about in our life, because I know you're into this holistic thing, and that's what I was asking.
You never
I
had bush tea? You don't drink? I'm so confused. Where are you from? You're questioning us on how Jamaican we are.
Well, is he Jamaican?
He said he is.
I am 100% Jamaican.
Oh.
You never had bush tea?
Yes,
Yes.
I have.
Oh, okay.
Tables turn, folks. Tables turn. All I can say,
He lost his train of thought.
I did. I must admit, you guys really had me for 6 on that one. But again, I just want people to know that this is something that is serious, and hopefully the show, people on the show, if you're watching, you'll realize that this is something to be taken seriously, and that if you have a need if you figure you are going through pregnancy, or even before pregnancy, that there's someone you can reach and you can talk to who would walk you through the steps. And after the fact, that there's someone who is there for you, who can help you make it through that road. Because as I've mentioned before, I've seen it, not all women go through pregnancy the same way.
Mm. True.
And I know for a fact, my then wife was a good woman before pregnancy. I had some challenge with each pregnancy, but once she gave birth, she's a different person. She was back to her nice self. Not that she wasn't nice during the pregnancy, but it was challenging.
Yeah.
I think if I had a doula in that case to tell me, idiot, understand, this is what you need to expect, I would have, and I really think, because a lot of it in my case, I think, was ignorance, a false expectation, what I should expect from a pregnant woman. And so having this experience would have made all the difference. I want to go around the room again. I know you are a teacher. She's a vice principal of a school. She's not just a teacher. She want to be repped properly.
Thank you.
Vice principal of a school. You've done being a doula all your life?
I've been a midwife.
Midwife.
I do birth work now.
Oh, yes.
I'm a registered nurse. I'm a community activist. Just keep it going.
So you see what I'm saying, folks? For some of you who have gotten this quick notion in your head that I can do that too. Understand? And your mom is involved.
Involved in what?
And being a doula in the holistic business, you have a support system.
She support, yes.
Support system. So you have all of that. So for the joker who is there, who thinks this is something, can we switch the camera, please? This is something that we can just get up and do. It is not that simple. It's a calling. Don't become like some people. They had a bad meal and they get up the following day and they think they can be a pastor, and then they quit afterwards. Or you can be any kind of profession. I didn't ask them about the money, because I don't want to emphasize the money part. Salea says there's money to be made. I never even continued that, because as far as I'm concerned, this is not about the money.
It's
right?
not.
It's not.
Not about the money.
It's
And
not.
so, in closing, PJ, are we on that time yet? Yeah. Oh, she says yes. I want to go around the room once more and just make sure that we have started here, that people know how to reach you. If there's a phone number that you want to declare, if not, unless there's a young lady here, so no bother the phone number, don't call her for nothing else for work. For all the ladies, as a
She'll
matter of
discern
fact.
it.
Yeah, she will.
It's
Okay.
all.
Yeah. No, for none of the women, as a matter of fact. But go in the room, tell them how they yeah, just let them, no, starting with you, just tell, as I go around the room, just tell me or tell your audience, you can speak straight into that camera, how they can reach you.
Okay, so I am
And
very...
you're going to slow down the spelling because that's what I did. The last time you went zip, zip, zip,
I'm
zip.
sorry. Okay.
And PJ, do you have that? Huh? So it's in the, so we can see it. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I am very active on Instagram. Again, my Instagram handle is holisticmystic_birth doula. That is WHOLISTICMYSTIC_birth doula. I am also listed on the Black Doula Directory, so if you go to that website, blackdouladirectory.com, you look up my name, Amitola Katori, that's AMITOLACATORI. I will come up as a listed Black doula in the Broward County area.
See, nobody told me. That's what I was trying to find out. The little thing. There is a directory called.
Yes. Black Doula Directory.
I didn't
Thank
tell
you,
you.
Jesus. No, you never said.
It's the biggest. No, you mentioned.
I said the network.
You were mentioning the trainings.
No, I said the Black Doula Network.
Network. Yeah.
And because you asked
This
about
is-
I think
organization.
Doula
you
Directory.
mentioned two of them.
But there's a directory that you can go. If somebody wants a doula, then let's see,
Sure.
since back home,
Yes.
so I say you can go onto the black what?
The Black Doula Directory.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yes.
And so I'm known as Sister Amatullah in the community. You can reach me by email, praiseswithlove@gmail.com, 954-422-3898.
Could you say that once more?
praiseswithlove@gmail.com, 954-422-3898.
What is this Caring and Partnership Inc.?
That is a nonprofit organization that I started in 2005.
Because whatever you tell us in is what we put on or the show, so
True, sir.
people are actually seeing that
Yes.
in the real time. And my co-host, like again, Norfam, she knee high at church, running around the place.
Oh, this is
And now,
sweet.
yes,
That's beautiful.
yeah. Close
Oh, you
us
ready?
up.
Okay.
Go straight on her, not me.
All right. So I'm Suleya Williams. I am a birth worker, and my business is called Strictly Roots Doula Services. You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, Linktree, STRICTLY Roots ROOTS Doula Services. I'm also listed under the Black Doula Network. I also work with Broward Healthy Start. So if you have Medicaid and you want to go that route, you can go to Broward Healthy Start and ask for a doula and ask for Suleya. You can also call me on my phone, 352-642-2712.
Now, folks, she is single, but don't call her about nothing else but doula shit. Don't tell me you're a man and you want a doula for you alone. It don't work.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Folks, it's been my plum pleasure to have you here today. And of course, I didn't get to, for all the folks who have been watching, guys, just go in the chat, just say hi to them when you have a chance, get on your phone, talk, respond to people. Even if their name just show up, just give them a tick or say hi to them. I have people commenting, your mom is still live on the chat.
Aw.
Thank you so much. Empress, I'm having issues with the set with my shirt and my collar, yeah, but you have, this set was designed by Empress Unique, and she wants everybody to know that this was a wonderful set. Thank you, Empress.
Thank
and
you,
everybody
Empress.
is complaining
you.
that they
Yes,
want
thank
this
you.
tool so they can hide, and including myself.
Okay, thank you. You put yourself in there.
But folks, tell us what you think about the set. Should we go back to the stools? Should we leave it right here? Your agreement is what we will do. But again, thank you so much for being the best part of the show. Continue to share. This is information that people need to know. And as always, God bless, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.